trying to get ready for practice is always this time of the year or any time, when you're getting ready for practices or getting ready for games, the level of intensity and awareness picks up. So, but that's what it's about. The competitive juices start to flow, as will our players and our opponents. We're coming off of a good win against a good Texas Southern team that after watching the film, we were very fortunate to get the win. We didn't particularly, rebound the ball well, and that'd be a concern against South Dakota State because they're bigger than us in every position except maybe center. So the good thing for us is that we have been defending consistently, even though at the end of the game against Texas Southern, we gave up a lot of quick and easy baskets. But that can happen to you. So we've been trying to figure out how to slow opponents down and do a better job. But I like the way we finished the game. We made our free throws down the stretch. So there are a lot of positive things going forward. But there are areas that we need to prepare for South Dakota State. As I said before, they're big. We've played and coached against the Jackrabbits, I think, every year for the last 6 years. And Coach Scott Nagy does a fantastic job. His team's always well coached. They always have a very good player. I mean, Walters, who's in the NBA starting now, was a talented player who last year at our place he didn't play. He was hurt, which they probably would have beaten us because he's that good of a player, and certainly people are finding that out. They've got, again, good balance, four double-digit scores and maybe five. And I mean, they got so many ways they can beat you inside with their outside shooting. So it'll be a challenge for us as far as how we pressure the ball. It's another league champion that we're playing. They're coming off winning the Summit League championship last year. So I know what they're capable of doing. So we need to come with our best game yet, and we haven't really played our best game, but we're going to need our best game tomorrow. Any questions?
How much have you stressed taking care of the basketball? Obviously paid off the other night.
Yeah, it did. But again, Texas Southern wasn't impress us. They really have a limited bench, so they weren't very aggressive physically. So it might have been which South Dakota State be entirely different. There'll be a pretty physical team. But again, we're very excited. 5 turnovers. I can't remember last game I coached, except last game I coached against Tech. But I can't remember a game before that where we had 5, 6 or less turnovers. I mean, that was an outstanding ball control, ball handling. But a lot of it had to do to, we really didn't pass it that much, because they were a lot of, when I look back at Rob, had a lot of one-on-one moves where he took it all the way to the basket. So consequently, we're in a lot of. But our guys we've tried to make it a conscious effort from day one that we needed to do a better job of taking care of the ball, and that's what you'll see tomorrow night in South Dakota State. They're not going to beat themselves, and we're going to have to take care of the ball against them. Do a better job inside. Even though we've been scoring in the paint, we've got to do a better job of forcing people to foul us. And that's going to take our post players doing a better job of posting up and being strong at the basket, finishing and getting a three-point play. We shot a lot of free throws late in that game, but up until late in the game against Texas Southern, we weren't getting to the free throw line. When we did, we only shot 59%. So we're really having problems at the free throw line. That has to be corrected.
Jordan said you've really been emphasizing the checking rules in practice, especially this week. Can you talk about what they're doing to try to avoid those fouls in practice?
What our players are doing? Well, I just make it fouling. Number one negates hustle. When you're fouling, you're either out of position defensively, or you're just being lazy. That's when you foul. Because because no one's teaching them to foul. It's like nobody, so it's like we're teaching box out every time, but they don't do it. So yeah, we've been making it. I've been very, especially looking at the stats in our 4 games we played. It's just we just done a very poor job of playing without fouling. We just have a bad habit of and just careless fouls. I mean, 30, 40 feet from the basket, reaching, guys dribbling away from the basket. Now, Jordan's foul, I think the other night, he's picked up a couple cheapies, and so he's the one, you're right, that's got to be more, because we need him in the game. He needs to be more conscious of that, of not fouling. Now, he's not going to stand out there and not defend, but he needs to learn to play defense before his man gets the ball or get himself in better defensive position like the rest of the team does.
You're 7-0 against this team. What specifically do you do to prepare for them, or do you bring to the table against South Dakota State?
Well, again, we've had a pretty good players over the last few years at Minnesota, and Coach Nagy has taken that program from a Division II program to Division I, and he's stood the test of time, and his team is very, again, his when you go outside your league, he always plays a very competitive non-league schedule, and they're part of this Barclay, the Legends Classic that we're playing in. So that's how we were able to schedule them. Trust me, we didn't schedule them because we want, really. It was because they were looking for someone to play in the tournament that we're playing in, and they were a team that had a game that was available to play. So we sort of not necessarily inherited them, but we did. So because I know how talented the teams are. So I think it's just a matter of we've been able to play them at home. It's been a big key. I hate to think if I had to go to South Dakota State, what would be happening to us. But I think that's probably the difference.
What improvement do you need to make on defense?
Me? Just definitely being more aggressive and trying to get more deflections. Just taking pride in it, trying to make my man not even score. Just be out there and have the most energy. Because someone like me definitely needs to have the most energy because my athleticism isn't, that of Tolbert's and people like that. How tough is it, though, with the rule changes this year? I mean, it's tough. You definitely forget about it, and when you try to get physical, it's a foul right away. And even when you're not trying to be physical, any contact, it's going to be a foul. So that's really tough to do against guys that are quick.
Dusty, I know you're a shooter, but have you guys been working on trying to lane a little bit more, trying to draw some of those fouls for you guys as opposed to just shooting jump shots?
Mm-hmm. Our guard play, when we get with Coach Williamson, we've been working a lot on, going up strong and finishing with the foul because there's so many fouls you can get to the line and get the M1. So we've been trying to just battle through, get in the lane and make a play.
There was a time last game you missed a 3. We got the offensive rebound that kicked it right back to you, and you made it. Can you just talk about your confidence as a shooter?
It's just something you kind of have. I was right when I missed it. It felt good, and then right when I saw it was open again, and then Gocher threw it, I was like, I'm gonna shoot it again, and went in. Thank God I didn't miss it.
What have you seen from South Dakota State so far?
They can shoot it really well. Their 1 through 4 men can all shoot, and they had a great player last year in Walters, but they also had a great supporting cast, and they'll be a tough game.
The last 2 games all struggled against the 3-point shooters, and this team obviously has 3 or 4. What defensive adjustments have y'all made in practice to be able to stop the drive but challenge the shot?
Just contesting the shots and, not hopefully on the ball. If you contain your man off on the ball, then you won't have as much help and having to recover to get to a shooter. So on the ball defense and contesting the shots.
Tough to kind of focus on this game a little bit, knowing there's a pretty cool trip after that?
Not really. Just hopefully we can focus, play good tomorrow, and get that win, and then have a cool couple days, and then get a couple more wins.
South Dakota State is kind of a perennial NCAA tournament team, and Texas Southern would have made it last year had they not had sanctions. When you get these wins or potential wins, how do you value them in the non-conference portion of the season when you have teams like Pittsburgh and Alabama, Arizona, and Arizona State on the same non-conference schedule?
Yeah, I mean, it's just great to have all this competition to play against. I mean, like you said, Texas Southern's a good team, and then South Dakota State's always making it to the tournament. But we just are really valuing these games, and they're gonna have us ready for the Big 12. But we want to win them too, so we don't want to just use them as, a getting better process. We want to get better and win these.
How did the fans play a role in the Texas Southern game?
Big role. It was fun. I felt like there was more energy in that crowd than it's been in a long time. Dating back to last year, whenever, it was just really fun to see everybody excited again.
Do you feel like Kaduri's blocks were
Yeah.
part of that?
Oh yeah, that one block he had by the student section it got really loud.
All right, Jordan, what have you guys seen from the tape that you guys can improve on
From the last game?
from last game?
Last game, definitely getting back in transition and just guarding around the perimeter. Number 4, what was his name? I don't remember his name, but he got to the basket a crazy amount of times and he kept drawing and one. So we definitely got to guard around the perimeter and not let people attack the basket so easy.
How encouraging is it just looking at the turnover numbers?
Yeah, I think we had like 5 turnovers, so that was amazing. I think we set like a school record, so that's really good for us.
Jordan, have you spent more time working on not hand checking in practice over the past few weeks now that you've seen Lund in a game?
Actually, we focused on it yesterday. And we also focused on like running with a purpose, not just running straight to the rim, just running. And if you get ahead of your man, sealing him, and that hand checking thing is big for us because dudes been beating us pretty bad, drawing easy fouls and just going to the line.
I think it
What
was,
adjustments have you had to make down low guarding the big men to get the arm bar off?
They always tell us, the first you take like the first hit, and then you have to give space, so you can't just elbow them like that. Got to give them a little room.
Does it almost seem like a different sport?
Not really, not for me.
Do you feel like you're going to draw more fouls driving?
Hopefully I will.
you guys been working on drawing more fouls, or you guys haven't been to the line near as much as you would like?
Coach has really been on us about shooting free throws. I think before the last game, we had shot like 10 free throws combined for the whole team. So, I mean, at the end of practice yesterday, we all shot free throws for about 30 minutes. So he definitely wants us to get to the line.
Jordan, will you guys avoid the look-ahead factor? Start thinking about Times Square, New York City, and all that. You got a game to play on that?
It's hard not to think about going to Brooklyn and playing at the Barclays Center, but we're just trying to focus on this game right now. But of course, it's in the back of our heads that we get to go to Brooklyn.
What have you seen on film from South Dakota State?
All of their guys like to shoot 1 through 4, so and they're pretty big, they're pretty tall. I think their smallest player is like 6'4". I think he's a point guard. So all their players like to shoot, so they'll be out on the perimeter a lot and trying to hit some threes.
The last 2 games you all have lost in the rebounding game. What needs to happen differently tomorrow?
I actually didn't know that, but I need to get more rebounds, and we need to just crash the boards. Definitely, all 5 of us. Well, not the point guard, but all 4 of us need to crash the boards.